hello, everyone. Oh, God, the chat box looks... Let me do that. Let me do this real quick. All right, chat box. I'm just moving a little bit like that. Snuggle you in closely. Lovely. There you go. Anyway, hi. おはようございます。こんばんは。おやすみ。俺は名前はFumiyoくん。俺は最強妖怪。よろしくお願いします。Hello, my name is Fumiyo. I am the best ghost, the only ghost that you need. And it is a pleasure to have all of you again join me on Friday for a bit more of a relaxation time. Because God knows we need it. But yeah. Hello, Jazzy. Welcome to the stream. Hello, your local protagonist. Hello. Hello, Lumi. Hello. Good morning. You're not awake? Well, wake up then. Okay, I know who that is. Hello, Ren. It's not song time, but welcome to the stream. Hello, everyone. So, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing quite well. I'm doing all right. Mostly because I bought myself a new pair of earphones. Sorry, tongue's not awake yet. I just woke up from a nap. Funnily enough, when I woke up, I opened up OBS and I was like, all right, might as well set up everything. And I was going to start on time, but what ended up happening is that I had to update, OBS. And God knows that OBS, for some reason, likes to take its sweet-ass time as it tries to upload and download every single thing that it wants. So, in order to allocate such resources, I let it to do its own thing. And that took some time. So I am 10 minutes late. God knows I'm late. But hello, regardless. Hi, I missed all of you. I found the name pretty funny. Of course you would, you immature child. I found it quite funny as well. So, our poem selections, as for today. Worrying. Well, not worrying in a sense of like, oh, people are going to ask how I'm doing. No. They're more or less, oh, this is our theme for the day, or this is our theme for the week. So we're going to try our best to hopefully make it more interesting. So I decided to do a little bit of a thing for today, which is today's thing is the following. We are going to be reading 2 poems from me, and then I will go through the good old poem section in my Discord server, and I'm going to be pulling out some poems from there. I know that I have full permission from T to use whatever poem that is already present in there, and I might pull in some local protagonists. I'm assuming he's okay with it, but we're going to see if anyone's okay with any poems that they've already submitted there. Please tell me so I can read out some to everyone here, because they're quite nice. They're really nice. I check in on some of them, and I really like them. Are you okay, Fumi? Yes, I am. I am great. Aside from OBS basically making me just pretty mad at it because it's updating time, I'm actually quite okay. So, let's start off our lovely poem time. Unlike most days, I haven't prepared that much of poems, aka I have not really taken that much of anything this time around, which is quite normal because I didn't have time to write these poems. So, we're going to go ahead and do something. Oh yeah, the prompt can be taken some lewd ways. Yeah, they really can be, and I think a lot of people went that way. But oh well. So our first poem of the day is going to be called Blue or Red. Just blue or red. The 2 colours. Alright, here we are. Is the sky blue or red? Or are these colours all in my head? If my eyes saw what they can't see, would they perceive me as crazy? Would they bat me an eye or lend me an ear, or would they tuck me away in my thoughts in fear? That a young boy as innocent as they can keep him to be is slowly getting tainted by the world debris, like the scholars of Lothric who made him desert, and they told him of the world he needed to avert. For the world beyond these windows were not found in the services of Ambrose. No god or man foretold of a land in such a state. The caretakers taught what they were told to create. They were told to create a vessel that may nourish many, rather than a man who could satisfy plenty. For them, temporary was far better than long-term. For them, there was no life worth to learn. So when the boys saw red rather than blue, they were reminded of the creativity they couldn't instill within you. There we go. Blue or red, like pills from the Matrix? No, I'll tell you what my thought process with this one was. So, my thought process going into this one, when I was writing it, that is I was thinking in my head, what if one of us saw something that the others couldn't see? What if, like, it's something that only we could see currently, but we could see later on? It's like how advancements in science first were made by a singular individual, which was then proven through thesis papers, hypotheses, or other things to be, well, true. So, with that regard, we could say that. So, sort of imagine this boy who basically saw something different that other people wouldn't really like. So, schizophrenia made PR. It's like, I guess so. It's more or less like this. It's like like it's more like this. Like, take it in a much more literal way in terms of colors. For example, blue is usually seen as moody, sad, not really nice. Very gloomy. So the boy saw the sky, aka the infinite freedom, as something sad, because as we're younger, we're taught by our parents or by people in general that the world is quite a bit sad, really, and that's what we view it as. So when the boy saw a shred of red, a color of red, there's actually probably other shades of colors to this world than blue, because he's still so young and he only knows what his parents taught him. His parents got scared of him finding out that there are more colors to the sky, and just sort of went, "Oh, well, mate, we're gonna have to, get you off. Off you go, mate. We need to remind you this isn't how the world works," sort of way. So I guess that's why I was going with it. Perhaps that's what I was approaching on, leading towards that. But yeah, that's blue or red. On guard, we go to the next one called No Control. Ooh. So, here we are. We are aware of our body and what we can do. We are aware of our mouth and what it can say to you. We are aware of our needs and what energy remains to use. We are aware of everything so as to not abuse. But if within seconds of this day you are living, the control you once had started slowly lifting. When you once were an actor but now play the spectator, how would you react to being passive rather than the instigator? The feeling of watching someone else take over that body, do with it as it pleases, be it ruining or fixing somebody. It is driven by no moral code or ethics. It is driven not even by psychology or physics. You watch this body, now unknown to you, dance and scream at the people that love you. Everything you worked for many years and over, is slowly meeting its own closure. Moreover, you can't do anything but watch it do its thing and treat everything you have like it's nothing. This body, just and fair, equally plays with everything, but this body is just unjust and unfair, plays without your control. So, there you go. Hello. So, that's the one I made called No Control. Hello, this is a Wendy's. Oh, never mind. May I have a chicken sandwich paired with tea? I don't think that's good. I mean, tea would be a great way to sort of wash up everything that you just had. But come on, I don't think you need anything else with it. But yeah, so No Control. No Control thought process time. I think I was thinking about how, when you someday wake up in the morning, or not even wake up in the morning, sometimes you just sort of sit there and you feel like you're slowly losing control of what you know and what you not generally care for, I would say. More or less, you're slowly losing control of what you think you had control in the beginning. For example, say you thought you had control of your breathing, but now you can't. Well, it's called being anxious. Maybe you had control over your own thoughts, but it turns out you were too sleepy to think. And that's the idea, or the idea I had, obviously I didn't execute it that well, is imagine sitting down on a car, alright? And in said car, the car is going somewhere. You were driving it, but now you're in the back seat. You have no input, no at all, both physical and verbal. And the car just seemingly goes about its own journey. You don't know where you're going. It could crash into something. It could go into the place that you want it to go. It can go to Wendy's, it could go to McDonald's, it could go to your parents' house, your girlfriend's house, your wife's house, anywhere. But you have no input about it whatsoever. Even though you were so familiar with the mechanism of the car. Sort of like that thing. I think that's what I was thinking of, but I couldn't execute it quite well. Oh god, this is a very deep day, aren't we? Deep poetry day. Very, very problematic. But I do have to say, I hope everyone here is at least has a cup of tea with them, a blanket, or maybe you're just, laying down in bed. Please relax, though, please, seriously. It's been a week for everyone, I'm assuming. Some people have been rushing their assignments to be over. Some people have been studying very hard for their finals are coming close. Some people have been just looking forward to the end of the week, really. So, to whatever spectrum of people you would like to go and abide by, please, by all means, relax. It's time for you to relax. Let me take care of you. Okay? With poems, existential crisis, and existential dread, really suitable ways of calming down. I should probably not do that. But yeah. And some people have just been trying to find their lot in life. Yeah, around those times. So come on, relax, eh? But now, it's time for my favourite part of today's poetry, which is known as delving into Fumiyo's phone. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So, I have lots of poems in my phone that I have not touched or has seen the light of day for many, 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 many years. And because of that, I'm going to have to sort of find something that might be interesting. A little bit of a, hey, this is how I used to write back in the day sort of thing. Granted, I would like to not touch on specific poems I've written because they are present in the book that we will be reading every single week, obviously. So, let's have a go. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Oh, this is a very, very long one. This is a very, very long one. We're going to do this. Right, boys? Right. Okay. So this one's called Orange. So let's see what we have in this one. I dream of brighter Sundays, warm and fair. A breeze so gentle and the smell of apple pie in the air. As they dance and make their way to your nose, you dance with me as the rhythm goes. Your happy little feet make their way to our kitchen, greeted by many things and those that I've yearned for that I'm missing. A softness and a sweetness unmatched by any. Lips only I could recognize as the woman I call my own. You wrap your arms around my shoulder at home as you see the wrinkles on my face as you and I have grown older. Many years have passed and many more shall come. Many more sun-kissed eyes would smile to the person I call the one. I brush my hands on the cheeks I've kissed thousands of times and over, gently savouring the moment as I kiss you slower. You smile at me, as bright and as true as one can be, as I remember the days you smiled has saved me. Unaware of your own power, unsure of your care, unaware of the safety you give me as you dangle your hair. It tickles my neck as you kiss it more, wiping away the memories of sadness that will be no more. Wow, I was quite a romantic, wasn't I, back in the day? What happened? What happened? Oh, this was when I was like, what? Oh god, this was when I was 17. Wow, I was really a romantic, wasn't I, when I was 17? What happened to that poor little boy? I think thought process time for this one. Simple. Orange. I was thinking of what the colour orange is. The colour orange is warm. The colour orange is sweet. The colour orange is acidic or more like citric, like orange. It is also very thing. I don't know. Of a certainty, I can tell you one thing. This is not written about a woman or a man. This is written about, I think, the feeling. There's a feeling that I was chasing here. It's like the feeling of a warm meal, I think, if I remember correctly. Because I mentioned kitchen. Usually when I mention kitchen back in the day, it's always about a warm meal. Yeah, I wrote this when I was hungry. Sue me. But it's a thing. People rushing to finish assignments, not me doing my essay in 10 minutes. Do your essay much slower, please. Take care of yourself, local. Roses are red, violets are blue. On edge and wanna cha-cha real smooth with you. And there. Yes, hello, Neko Mimi. Welcome to the stream. Hello, hi. Hello. Welcome. I hope that you're enjoying your day, enjoying your week, or end of the week. Not gonna lie, if you wrote this about food, that's pretty good. I think I don't know if I wrote this specifically about food, but no. Which is a wonderful source of motivation. It is, but a little bit sad times. Apparently, my induction stove, the wire connected to my induction stove, the thing that turns it on, apparently got burned off a little bit, which means I can't cook for a couple of days until we get it fixed. So I'm sort of stuck here in purgatory, looking at my stove and going, the only source of human warm food has now been taken away from me. So now I have to order takeout. Oh, for the love of God, I don't like takeout. Oh well. So, now you can cook the pasta and pesto. I can make pesto without needing a stove, that much I know. Pasta, I can probably put it in boiling water, so I can just have to keep on using my kettle, which is not really nice. But, as we are, I mean, times are tough for that one. So, we're going to do that. We are now going to move on to a section that I really like about this stream today, which is going to be also known as the fan submission poems. It's fan, don't like the way that I said that. I don't like calling you guys fans. Not even viewers. Friends. There we go. Friends is a nicer term. I did have an idea, and because you know how a lot of VTubers have names for their, like viewers. Some people call their viewers like the sinners, or like, oh, hello there, my cute little Watts. That sounds very wrong. But, certain things like that. I thought of calling you all the insomniacs because you don't sleep. All of you just never sleep. Is sleeping just something that doesn't come with all of you? Like, can I please somehow find a way to get all of you to just sleep? It'd be fantastic. It'd be great. Sleeping would do all of you but a world of good. Don't you think? I think it'd be fantastic. But, right on then, mates. Let's get to it. So, in my server there is a poems channel where people have been submitting quite a lot of lovely poems. So, for these lovely poems that we're going to be reading, we're going to read where's T's? Here you go. Perfect. Insomnia. So let's do this. Well, you see, Rust is like a girlfriend. You need to give it constant attention. Yeah, you're right, but still, you can simmer down on Rust a little bit. But here we are. Now, this is a poem by our lovely resident cutie on our server, T. It was submitted in June 6th, 2021 at 9:53 AM my time. Go to bed, people. So, insomnia. Some days, I wish I had a price on my head, because then I'd know my worth, whether I'm alive or dead. To stop working and stop looking for the future ahead, rather fall asleep to live the dream forever instead. Some days I wish I got the things that I read, not just regurgitating words for word of what my teachers said. Enjoy my daily breakfast, love the butter and bread, not just barely had the energy to get out of bed. Just go to sleep early, yeah, I wish I can, to conquer my poor schedule and my sleeping plans. Be the master of your body and take the command. Now please try crossing yourself into a no-man's land. See? Told you it's nice. It's really good. Should I... here we are. So for the in the prompt of this week, I'm going to take one from local, which is, I see it in all its glory when it got there, who knows? For it's from nobody knows, but I know its true worth, I know the history behind it, I know the greatness it holds, for I am its sole user. This is about some cheap, shitty switchblade. Yeah, I always love these. I always love it when they reveal what it is. Hello, Bobman Bob. Hello, welcome to Poetry Night. Hello. Poetry hype. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I don't think you can hype up poetry. I don't think you can read. It's one of those things that you can't hype up. It's like someone going, whoop, 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 whoop. I'm going to be in a cast iron. Yay. Actually, I didn't word that right. I wanted to say cast, like, cast, the thing that you put on your feet. Not feet, your foot, when you break it. But yeah, hello, Bob. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Jay. Papa J. Hello, hello. Hello. Welcome, everyone. We're going through some poems from the server, which I'm loving. Oh, here's one from our resident device. That sounds so wrong. Our resident exotic erotic writer of machinery. So here we are. Useful without purpose, silver-threaded entities perceived possibilities. There is no door they would open, no place to covet. They give confidence. If ever a door without love, a way to make it loved, if ever a route hard to take, it will be taken. So whilst fate might not be swayed and metal decay, if any item can, of course, be of ease, take some keys. I'm assuming this is about keys. Okay. Can I put anything if you believe hard enough, Fumiyo? I don't think you can. Because you just go like, whoop whoop, empty bottles of water. Yes, finally, I'll be thirsty for quite a long time. No Man's Land part was great in World War II. No Man's Land was a land that nobody crossed as it was uncharted. True. If you think about it, like your mind, people's mind on No Man's Land, because you haven't really traversed in it quite far. It's more, we're not going to talk about shadows, masks, and personas, okay? We're not delving into this. This is not psychology class. We're not doing this. And to close it off, we're going to close up the poem side of things at least. We are going to end it with our resident apex addict Kicks. So he goes, I see it lying down effortlessly, in all its glory with a pink, blue, white. My favourite apex streamer and a shy young lad who got frustrated in reaching Diamond 1. A beautiful voice with a lot of feeling, yet she acts like a kitten. Her name, Minato Aqua, and her two greatest treasures are shining like opera. Opera? What? Big booba sitting on my desk. It gives me luck opening packs in Apex. Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? And it's about Vtuber and Apex. Damn you, no like it. Well, that was it. Oh, classic. Oh, how very classy of you. How very bloody classy of you, Kicks. Very eloquently put your mousepad. Brother Fumi, Akis has a Metal Aqua mousepad. I did not know that. I think it was revealed last night during the Jackbox event. Which, by the way, our mod Ryan won. Just write that for anyone who is interested about the Pride Month event. In poetry is more than welcome. Yep, we'll do that. I'll hopefully be writing something if I remember anything. If I remember the events, but then again, I know that Ryan will just be peckering me to write something. So I'll be there, hopefully. So that is the end of our lovely poem section. We've done quite a bit, haven't we? Not really. We read some poems. It was some lovely ones. Today's theming was a little bit weird, but I hope we get back to normal. Not really normal. Then again, I could just let out, don't you think? Let out all the weirdness in my poems. If I do that, we'll be stuck in a loop of existential dread. Because I realised that if I let my poems run wild, it's just a mass of just symbolism that even I sometimes don't understand. Which would be great. How about that? I'll just do that one day. Just let it all out. Just let it all go. So before we start our story time, I'm just going to say one thing. I got myself earphones. Very small ones, which means I can stream for longer. Granted, I've been streaming for quite a long time, but I'm going to hopefully try to do a Persona 5 stream that's really, really long, because I've been wanting to play that game for a while. I also have Guilty Gear Strife, which is a new Guilty Gear, and I need to learn how to play that game before I stream it. Or I could just stream 5 hours of me learning how to play the game, which is definitely going to be the case at this point. But now we have come to our favourite part, and the part that most people have been, well, waiting on, which is story time. So for those who have come here for the first time or have completely forgotten what we do every single Friday, on the description of this live stream is going to be a lovely little tabs part which has the word story in it, and right below it is a link to a Google Drive. In said Google Drive you can find our lovely poem, our lovely story. We'll be reading 2 chapters today. It's going to be a continuation of where we are. So for those who've forgotten, we're now attending the Wooden Cross Theatre after Aiden accepted the invitation and Kai reluctantly allowed himself to go in. So that's where we are. So I'll give you all a minute to 2 minutes to download the file if you would like to read along with me. If you don't want to do so as well, it is perfectly fine. Just sit tight, relax, and listen to my voice as I read you to bed, or just read you in terms of relaxation. But regardless of what choices you take, please take the one that you're most comfortable with and most, okay with. Can't say though. Have fun with the story time, everyone. Let me know if I'm needed for anything to do with server. Okay. I'm going to go to work. Have a good stream. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, Lumi. Bye. I also have the name of the book if you want to be a No. We are not going to advertise the book. We're not allowing anyone to buy the book. The book will not be sold at all. Okay? The book is going to be read by me every Friday, so there's no need to buy the book. Thank you. So, I think I've given everyone some good time, an eloquent time to download what we need to be downloaded. I have to download it myself. So, I need to do this real quick, do that real quick, then do that real quick. You mean, no, I've been disconnected. There we go. Reconnection is successful. Sorry about that. Apparently, every time I want to download my own book, not my own book, but my own chapters, I get booted off of existence instead of the stream. Sorry about that. Anyway, so, which chapter are we again today? 15-16. Yes, we will be doing 15-16. So that's the one that we're doing. Just you wait till it hits payday. I will become the simp. No. And that book is gonna be my book. No. No one's gonna buy any book. Nothing. Okay? I'm genuinely going to get the bot to remove every instance of a message that has my pen name and or the name of the book. I'm going to make it happen. Thankfully, I already did that for the links. So, anyway, it's time. Let us now proceed with the chapter. I'm gonna have to open. Oh God, give me a minute. Do that. Here we go. Chapter 15. Here we are. What book are we talking about? No book whatsoever. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. You think I haven't mastered the art of fooling stream bots? Oh God. Because if it isn't my Zico's fanfiction, I do not care. True. Okay, so it is now time for me to read the chapter number 15, called The Wooden Cross. Everyone, relax. Get your fingers away from the keyboard. Lay down, sit down, close your eyes and imagine what I'm about to tell you. All of this, just relax, okay? Behave. A gulp of water first. Thank you. Alright, here we are. Here we are. The sound of many actors scattering around the theatre can be heard as each of them are going on about their busy days. Some returning to their chambers while others are to take part in night plays. Between the folly of clothes and practicing of the lines is a boy who attempted to navigate the busy crowd. Aiden knew he could not leave without at least partaking in the morning plays, and that is due part to his love of the audience, but his love for curiosity shall not be tamed by even his beloved audience. Wearing a black long coat matched with black trousers, on the inside he wore a white button-up shirt with black buttons, carrying with him a dark brown leather mail bag that seemed to have seen a lot of use in its time. Well dressed and prepared for the occasion, the boy met up with Kai outside the theatre. Opening the door, Kai could be seen standing opposite of the door, dressed in a fashion different from his usual attire. "Dressed up now, aren't you?" said Aiden. "Not one to talk," Kai said. His attire was completely white, except for a scarf that remained to be green. He stood firm with dignity, which was a sharp contrast to his usual sloppy and impulsive way that he brought himself up to be. The two of them kept their comments to themselves and proceeded to walk to the theatre, the Wooden Cross. On their way, Aiden felt it again, the same feeling Mallory had, but now with his newfound emotions, he now knows what Mallory felt on that day. A sense of thickness in the air, a cold wind that blows to pierce and freeze the inside of the passer's nostrils, a deafening silence only broken by the constant ear-piercing chant. The volume of said chant was not loud, but something about it felt like it was violating his ears. Nobody but Aiden seemed to be affected by it, and nobody spoke either. Against his own will, he could not speak a word. He could not think. A chant that never ends or repeats starts to become the center of his attention, and center of his thought. There was nothing but those words. Silence the voice of which is not for worship. Silence the voice of which is not for prayer. Gods, demis, inhabitants of the city, pray, pray for the return of our mercy. Forceful entry through his mouth, slowly descending to his heart, not out of struggle but out of fear. Whoever were they saying those words wanted the inhabitants to feel the words, yet ignoring it was not an option. Aiden moved his feet faster. He wanted to get to their destination quicker. His feet unable to carry him any longer, unable to support his weight, looking around once more, he sees no one as affected as he is. He wondered if it was the combined efforts of the air and the words that freely danced in the air, or the wind blows sharpening the strokes of the letters. His vision fades gently, his band slowly losing its footing. The world spun around with no one side going the opposite of the other. Aiden felt the brush of the wind get stronger, realizing he was going to fall. But before he could, a sharp feeling on the frontal part of his neck, a force pulled him back. From his limited eyesight, he saw a dark, double-sided door. Aiden was thrown in the direction of the door, causing it to open on both sides, wide and loud. Aiden rolls onto the floor, with his travel being stopped by the large, sturdy table in front of him. Regaining his vision and balance, immediately standing up to his feet, brushing off the dirt and the dust, he looked around him and he saw that they have made it into a small white room, carpeted in white with golden thin lines on the side. The walls are marble with a slight black texture on them. In the middle is it's a large dark brown table with a plain white cloth laid out on top of it. A man sat behind it with his hands intertwined together, not bothered by the ruckus caused by them. Aiden looked at Kai with confusion while breathing heavily. He felt a tingling sensation from his nose, flower petals slowly falling from his nose. He caught them as they fell and put them away in his pockets. "What was that for?" gestured Aiden with his lips and eyebrows. Kai is unfazed by it and continued to walk to his side. Aiden turns around to see a man dressed in pure white, similar to Andrew in every way except for the headpiece and the mask that they wore. His hat had a wider brim resembling a sun hat, while his mask was golden. The facial expression imprinted on it was lacking the detail of the muscle and the wrinkles. In front of the white-masked man was a large white bowl made out of ceramic. It was decorated with carvings etched into the side of it, filled to its utmost capacity with a clear liquid. "Good day to you, kind visitor," the white-masked man said to Aiden. The man looks at Kai, though not being able to see his facial expression. His reaction to seeing Kai was that of surprise. The man continued, "Sir Kai, the Phaeonian knight, it's a pleasure to have you, a man of your caliber, return to us," he said. Aiden looked over at Kai, who remained rather silent by the warm welcoming he'd received. The masked man gestures with his hand at the bowl, as if to tell them to cleanse their outer worldly filth. Kai sunk his hands into the bowl for a second, to then lift them up to his chest. With the water dripping, Kai tapped the back of his palm twice with the right palm, then his left. Aiden followed Kai's lead and proceeded to do it in the same order. The masked man got up from his seat, gently as to not make a noise. He moved the door to his left. "Young actor, please, This way, he said. Aiden followed to the door. He returned back to see Kai, who had walked to the right door, entering without any hesitation. He continued forward, following the masked man. They walked a spacious corridor. On his right and left side are many doors spaced out from each other a decent amount. There are the odd times where the doors are 2 doors away from each other, but that is compensated by the paintings. Depictions of many actors are within those paintings, some not even human but instead animals, portraits of what seems to be figurehead plagued. Can't read today. The term portrait might be a lie though, thought Aiden. A portrait is a drawing of the self in either a forced theme or their true self, but these portraits are all just various men with a golden mask. Paintings that had none of them as the center of attention had paintings of apples drawn with the stroke of a madman, either challenging the common perception of what makes an apple what we see it as. Twisting its colors are the most noticeable of the changes, but the texture seems to give off a rather human-like feel to it, encased in their golden bulky frames with limited to none in terms of cravings and carvings. The masked man stopped in its tracks to knock on the door twice before opening it. A voice can be heard coming from the other side. "You may come in," said the voice. The masked man leaned in forward, gently, and then opened the door wide. He gestured to me to come in and close the door as he left. A familiarly dressed man stood in the middle of the room. As with like the other rooms, his room was white and marble. Even the desk was white, and the man had his back turned on Aiden, overlooking the other side of the glass plane. Aiden came up to him and stood next to him. He saw a large number of actors practicing their lines, and some preparing for what looked like a musical of some sort. They were stretching their bodies by spreading their legs one leg at a time and pulling on their backs. Though variated in attire, the color of their clothes remained white, and they maintained the theme of golden masked actors with varying facial expressions across their lineup. "These are my esteemed actors. They practice their art and tonality frequently," said Andrew. Aiden took a hard look at them and noticed how much they focused on delivery. Their use of words were kinder and softer, dialogues that were more for the heart than the mind. "It's sweet and gentle. I don't see it often from where I hail from," said Aiden. "We don't frequently get to perform on stage. Most, if not all, of that time is devoted to your theatre," said Andrew. Aiden looked at Andrew and said, "And all theatres united by their shared agreement. Your theatre should be able to perform as much as they like," said Aiden. "Why, yes, if only the stage was not situated on an uneven playing field," said Andrew. He explained that the stage shared by the many actors in theatres is located closer to Arusa, where crescent moon actors are present. The audience members are patriots of said theatre, attending ones involving only the crescent moon actors. Some actors of the Wooden Cross do perform with the patriots, taking a liking to them, but no such performance is viewed if all of the participants are of the Wooden Cross. And the same goes for every other theatre. With such a disadvantage, we sought out to nurture our actors in their fields, turning their voice into a sweet instrument befitting of such an audience," said Andrew. "Their use of words and the projection of their voice is riveting. I cannot see how someone could not be lulled into your performances," said Aiden. Excuse me, water break. Thank you. Okay. He admired the actors, though he could not hear them clearly through the glass plane. What little sound leaked through the little spaces between the glass and the wall was alluring to him. "Right, and as far as I view him, how about a closer look?" said Andrew. "I would love to," said Aiden. The two of them moved towards a door behind them, going back to the corridor they came from. At the very end of it was a single-sided door engraved with decorative lines and a mask of 2 different facial expressions, a sad one and a happy one. On the other side of the door was a large staircase going down. The steps were short, which explains the number of steps made to compensate. Many pillars are erect from both sides with engravings of their actors' performances and perhaps even their poets. The ceiling was higher than the previous rooms, but the end of it could be seen. Upon reaching the end of the staircase, the two of them take a right turn, leading into a double-sided door, with the left side being a happy face and the right one being a sad face. Andrew pushed the door in the middle. A door as large as this one produced a lot more noise. Everyone knew someone was coming. At the end of the room before him was a large and wide marble stage, elevated from the ground by a sizable amount. The seats of the audience of such a group of actors are many wide wooden chairs painted in white. A path ran down the middle was made, marked by the white carpeting they had. The actors stopped to look at the door and noticed that there was a visitor. Some actors came down from the stage while the others continued to practice. Andrew proclaims loudly, "Good work, young ones. I've owned to you with a visitor." I think I wanted to write come, but apparently I couldn't write it properly. "I've come to you with a visitor who might be of interest." "The crescent moon," said one of the actors. "Yes, it is to come here to be an audience member, or perhaps even take part at a practice play," said Andrew. "I'd rather not catch filth from their barbaric kind," said the same masked actor. "Now, Joseph, don't be rude to our visitor. During all of your classes, you were told to respect all of the theatres involved in the treaty." To the words of Andrew, the two of them seemed to, have accepted it, or saw no reason to keep voicing their opinions. Aiden could not see their faces through the mask, but he assumed they were expressing disdain rather than acceptance. "Why won't you take a seat, young actor? I shall organize them into a play, and if you'd like to participate, then please feel free to join in at any given moment," said Andrew. Aiden listened and proceeded to take a seat behind one of the chairs. He didn't want to sit completely in front, but also didn't like the idea of being too far back. Wanted to experience them from a good enough distance to capture everyone without straining his eyes from rapid movement of whomever decided to talk at the given time. Andrew pulled and pushed his actors around, positioning them by the centimetre. The conversation was not audible to Aiden, but he remained focused nonetheless. Though he knew he would be going nowhere with them wearing those masks. After finalizing their positions, Andrew coughed gently. "I humbly present the Neverman," Andrew announced. Joseph came forth as the acting narrator of this play. The Neverman never stops crying. In his bed he lies pretending. Try as he might, he can never stop thinking. A masked actor lays on a makeshift bed, twisting and turning, laying his arms on his chest and then laying them on his side. Excuse me. Eyes wide open, through the night he'll weep. The scars of his worldly desires are to him to keep. For that memory of a girl that he counts as sheep, a lie of a promise his heart will weep. The masked actor places his arm behind his head, while using his other arm to count fictional sheep. With every sheep that made it past the fence, the tears built up from his eye leaked to the side. The Neverman thought he will never be broken, as broke as she stood in front of them with words left unspoken. The masked actor stands in front of a paired actor. A male and a female actor stood in front of them, acting as joyful as those masks can allow them to, while the masked actor looks from afar, reaching out with his hand, but they see him not except for a little side stare the female actor gave him. Yet in his waking hours, the Neverman broke, with each mask contributing to a stroke. The masked actor holds up to his right arm, covering it up with his left hand. He's bled. Okay. But the blood got stuck to his skin rather than drip. The pair actor moved to stand in front of the Neverman. The Neverman had a brother he once knew. He tried fixing his heart anew. No matter how much he tried, his brother caved to the corner, masking the intruders and himself for the border. The brother of the Neverman attempts to fix his brother's heart, but that led to vain. With every patch that he gave, his brother grew weaker. The bandages restricted rather than heal him. As the brother was fixing the Neverman's heart, the Neverman curled up a corner, allowing people to come into his room without even batting them an eye. He questioned not what they looked like, who they are. A steady stream of strangers came on. The Neverman's brother thought he was a brother, but that he should listen to the words of his father. Unlike him, his brother was weak, yet he got what he wanted every week. His future might not seem too bleak, yet he got the woman that the Neverman wanted to seek. The Neverman moved not a muscle or reacted. His brother and the girl he loved continued their acts in his room. The girl made sure to show him their joyous life and need for each other. Madly in love, almost like poison, she fell for him, a story of love that turned both grim. Though the girl loved his brother, she turned away from his arms and into the Neverman. Feeling a slight touch on his shoulder, he turned around to face it. Presumably, the girl was smiling. The Neverman was crying, but Aiden could neither confirm nor deny it. But he felt that those were the appropriate emotions. So he stepped in and took her hand, gave her love and time to understand. He gave her skin and heart so she can have a fresh new start. The Neverman gave the girl a heart-shaped balloon and some strawberry cake. The girl waved at him and he hid his face behind his hand, picked up the pieces that broke apart to make a fine lady that men call art. The girl who'd lay in bed lonely and curled, she would keep her blinds closed and stared into the ceiling. But those moments only lasted seconds. In every corner, the Neverman came. He sang and he danced. He injured his own body to make her laugh. He fell, he rolled, he almost lost his sleep and his control. But no matter the offerings of our dear Neverman, the outcome was the same for the fate of man. Cruel as their fate, his fate was the same, unless suffering brutal pain. In his heart the lady left a stain to mark his final piece of sanity that shall be detained. In every scene the girl was showered to an extent by the Neverman, but even then the girl never seemed satisfied completely. She fell in her despair as many times as she could, though Aiden knew it was never what she wanted to do. The Neverman walks, blessing every other lover, healing those who want to forget and get over. The Neverman means well, my children, so if you are to see him, tell him that you love him then. When the Neverman was a boy in love with her and her men. The play conducted, with the Neverman walking around the stage, presumably to find lovers in need of help or understanding. Joseph bowed down to the audience, which was Aiden. Andrew and him both clapped their hands at the performance. Aiden showed admiration for the words, but worry for the actors. "What do you think, young actor?" said Andrew. Aiden stood up and said, "It was a pleasant play. I can see how hard your actors have been working," said Aiden. "Don't raff us with your present folk," said Joseph sarcastically. Aiden chuckled slightly. "Worry not, I'm not grouping anyone with anyone. Anybody with anyone." Andrew clapped twice and looked at his actors. "All right, as you were before we came," Andrew said. "Yes, sir," they replied in unison. Andrew and Aiden walked from the stage, closing the door behind them. Gently he placed his hands on Aiden's. "I deeply apologize for their rudeness. I hope this doesn't deter you from coming back," said Andrew. "My opinions are based on the play, not on the actor outside of it," said Aiden. Andrew let go of his hand and asked Aiden, "How are you of any relation to Sir Kai? Are you his brother, a distant relative?" said Andrew. "No, I have not the slightest idea as to what we are," said Aiden. "No. Perhaps I'm probing too much," said Andrew. "No, absolutely not," said Aiden. "Today marks the return of Sir Kai. He hasn't visited us for a while. He never came to tend to his duties. Is he by any chance an actor of the Moon Crescent Theatre?" said Andrew. "No, I've never seen him act before, therefore I doubt that there ever been a possibility. All he does is, in his own words, take care of me." "I see, so you're the boy. It's been lovely having you here today, actor. I hope you come visit again. We are definitely in need of new faces, but the old blood proves to attract no one," said Andrew. "I'll come by whenever I see fit," said Aiden. "Very well. With this I bid you farewell," said Andrew. Aiden and Andrew took their separate ways. Walking down the corridor, Aiden is filled with more questions about Kai than he ever had. Mallory never thought of questioning Kai before, mostly due to him being scared of Kai's scolding. He thought to himself that for all of Mallory's curiosity, how could he let that fire die out and never ask about him persistently? All that Mallory knows of Kai is within that book he read in the Endless Library. Other than that, Kai remains a mystery. Twisting the door he came from, he saw Kai waiting there at the other side with his arms crossed. "Finished forever, I take it," said Kai. "Yes, but not forever," said Aiden. He expected Kai to throw in a fit of anger, but rather, he remained calm and collected. "That matches up with what I have in mind," said Kai. He changed his take on this whole situation. Aiden now remains unsure of what he had caused him to change, but he knows that he can use his visits to ask Andrew or figure things out.
It seems like he is known to a multitude of the people in the wooden cross, in the wooden sphere. Aiden thought to himself that he can use that to his advantage by using Kai's name to get information or get into places, while also gaining information of the man who took care of both him and Mallory. And that is the end of chapter 15. Give me a second, I need to breathe. Alright. Thank you. Oh, hi T, welcome to the stream. Yes, you missed the poems. I'm so sorry. Certainly everyone will partake in you today. That's how it's true. Good evening, Hika. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Or evening, more like. Hello. Oh, ow. A bit of a breather before we start our next chapter. We're getting a little bit more information about the world, are we? More expansive lore. Big suck breath time. True. Okay. Don't hurt yourself. I'm not hurting myself, don't worry. I just react audibly every time I crack my neck or my back or my arms. It's a thing. It's a thing that I do. Well, shall we? Chapter number 16. The Faceless. Excuse me, Aiden, said a voice from across the hall. Quick footsteps, almost tap-like, approached Aiden. A fragile-like girl with a physique so slender came to his view. Yes? Aiden asked. Sorry to be a bother again, but you have been absent lately from your plays. Your spot was almost sometimes filled with other, but times not really resulting in other actors not being able to perform. I have come to ask you again whether you can tell me why, the girl replied. She sounded timid, as if she was scared of Aiden, awkwardly pausing and stuttering. He found that quirk of her rather amusing. For her to be an actor really surprises him, though she regularly plays a role suiting of her abilities. I've told you numerous times that I have been feeling rather ill, and would not like to partake for now, said Aiden in response, though, truthfully, he was just lying. Ill? Oh, I hope you're doing okay, she said worryingly. I'm perfectly fine. A common cold, that's all, said Aiden. I need to wipe my glasses. Hold on, give me a minute. When did all of this build-up come into my glasses? Should clean my glasses before the stream. I'll go on. There we go. I'm a blind bat. I can't see anything. Give me a minute. Give me a hot minute. Okay, that's one side. Now for the other. Here we go. Should be better. I scream really loud to Sona. I believe in you. What? To Sona? Who's Sona? Why should I scream? That's rude. It's rude to scream. Especially doing poetry day. Well, I'm meant to relax. But your opinion of relax could be different. I don't know. Okay. There we are. Goes blind as a bat. Ah, yes. Echolocation. I got it. Echolocation. Talk about echolocation. Don't just scream for echolocation. Right, here we are. And we shall continue. Don't worry about it, T. Don't worry about it. I got it. I'm sorry for bothering you. I'll leave you to your rituals of relaxation, she said as she ran off. The girl was kind and does what she is told. Girls and boys like her are the director's favourite actors. They listen and obey, never ever questioning the purpose or reasoning. Of course, the only applies to the director's authority, not of anyone else's. But whenever pain or discomfort is mentioned to her, she would get easily convinced that they are telling the truth. In the case of Aiden, he knew that it was the only way to get her off of his back every single time. Aiden packed up his bags in his room, carrying whatever he needed. He heads out to the main entrance where he met up with Kai, wearing the same attire as before. He never wore it unless they were going to the wooden cross. "Shall we go?" said Aiden. Kai nodded and proceeded to move. Aiden, knowing that the outside world was far too overwhelming for him, started to run to the wooden cross rather than walk. To him, it was better to look like a lunatic than it is to pass out cold in the street or to get thrown at a door by Kai. Upon arrival at the entrance door, Aiden was greeted by the same familiar man. "Good morning, young actor," said the receptionist. "Good morning," said Aiden, struggling to catch his breath. Hunched forward with his hands used as support, he tried to catch his breath, losing track of it a couple of times. Shortly after, Kai walked in front from the back door. He said nothing to Aiden or the receptionist in front of him. He simply placed his hands on the bowl, and performed the procedures needed before entering the door to his right. The receptionist followed Kai's every move, with his eyes coming back to Aiden after Kai's entry through the door. "Came for another visit, I presume?" said the receptionist. "Yes, I've become sort of a patriot for this theatre," said Aiden, finally catching his breath. "You're always glad to have you, young actor." He gestured with his hands to Aiden to watch his hands as well. While he does, Aiden decided to chat with the receptionist with a couple of questions. "You seem to be familiar with Kai," said Aiden. "Kai, the Fionian Knight. He is familiar to us all," said the receptionist. "What does that title mean exactly?" said Aiden. "The Fionian Knights were in charge of guarding and protecting Saint Fiona and the holy regalia known as the Egg of Valthree," said the receptionist. "A saint, and this deprived city of ours. Is she perhaps a follower of the Pit of Doubt?" said Aiden. "How dare you!" the receptionist said with an angered tone. The table that held the bowl fell towards Aiden, splashing the water all over the white carpeting. "How dare you sully the name of Saint Fiona with the mention of the followers of the pit?" said the receptionist. Aiden moved away from the angry receptionist as much as he could, but the more he did, the more the receptionist came closer and closer. Closer he drew. The receptionist kept on shouting at him. "Saint Fiona is what shall cleanse this defiled wretch of a place. The birth of the bird from Valthry's egg shall be your salvation, you ungrateful." He stopped in the middle of his sentence, almost silenced. He moved not and collapsed on the floor. From the right door, two masked actors came in to pick him up. They grabbed him by his arms, placing them behind their shoulder. As the receptionist was being dragged, Aiden caught a glimpse of the face of the man. It wasn't a glimpse per se, more or less the lack of the face that the man had. It looked like he had no face. They then moved him to the right door, closing it behind them. Aiden looks at the mess that has transpired, trying to recollect his thoughts. While attempting to do so, he notices that the white carpet stained by the water bowl left a rather unusual stain. It excreted an almost animal-like odor and the smell of sheep's fur while it's being washed at the barn among its washed products, or waste products. God, I can't read today. It was darker in color and thicker in consistency. It glimmered in the light, eating away at the material of the carpet. A loud crashing sound was heard from the right door. "Aiden!" said Kai loudly. He came up to Aiden, touching his chest and shoulders. "Are you okay? Did he hurt you?" said Kai. "I'm fine. There's nothing wrong about it. It was simply just a madman, nothing to be worried about," said Aiden. The sound of a doorknob is heard from the left door, grabbing the attention of both of them. From the door emerges Andrew. "You little..." Kai left Aiden's side quickly, grabbing Andrew by his collar. Pinning him to the wall, he continued. "I agreed to come here and serve you until the boy wants to leave, but if you or any of your men are to ever touch him, I would be the end of your little plan," said Kai. "Mind whatever happened to you to leave your lady in favor of this boy," said Andrew calmly. "Fiona has nothing to do with this," Kai said. "The saint has everything to do with this. No matter how many times you wash your hands in that bowl, you will never wash away your sins," said Andrew. "I have moved on. And we say the same to their families as well," said Andrew. Kai's grip grew stronger, lifting Andrew higher. "You think you can get the boy by showing him what he wants to see? And do you think you can run away with your master by not showing him who you are? You are no different than us. I wonder what your master and mistress will think of you once they learn of the truth," said Andrew. Kai threw Andrew to the fallen table, resulting in a large crashing sound. Andrew hits the table with his back, injuring his hands in the process. "I'm not a coward like you. I will tell them myself," said Kai. Andrew coughs a little, hanging on his mask with his right hand. "You are just as arrogant as your father," said Kai. Kai grabbed Aiden by his wrist and both walked away from the building. The two walked back to the theatre, and upon entry, Kai brushed off Kai's hand from him. He rubbed his wrist around gently while looking at Kai. "Master, mistress, what does he mean by that?" said Andrew. Water break. Thank you. Kai shuts the door behind them. For the first time since he met Kai, he looked sad. His eyes were not making eye contact with him. He kept his head low, walking slowly to the table. "Kai, what did Andrew mean by all of what he said?" said Aiden. Kai grabbed a wooden chair and sat on it. He takes off his hat, placing it on the table. He lifts his head up to look at Aiden. "You are my master, and Fiona is my mistress. I serve you both with my life, and," said Kai with a deep, monotone voice. "How do you serve me?" "Every time that a child of the mother dies, another one is born right after. I'm to serve your brothers and sisters," Kai said, almost as if he's delaying the inevitable. His mouth struggled to open. "Sisters? Are you saying I'm capable of becoming a girl?" "No." A cold reply came out of Kai, still not contemplating whether he should or should not proceed with giving away the information he will be providing. He continued, "You have a sister. Her name's Fiona." He could not believe the words that came out of Kai's mouth. To his knowledge, only one child is born out of the mother at a time. No two children are to survive in harmony together. He knew that he could not let his emotions get the best of him. He needed to know more about his sister and his status as Kai's master. "Why is she there with the wooden cross? A saint nonetheless rather than an actor," said Aiden. Kai clenched his fist. His veins popping out, pulsating madly. They looked as if they were about to burst. "My father took her away from you," Kai said. "Why?" replied Aiden. "To bring back upon the age of gods. To the wooden cross. The plates should be witnessed by the gods, for they are to ascend to such status once they've gained fame. They work differently from the followers of the pit, but they have the same goal in mind, to bring about the age of gods," said Kai. "But that doesn't explain why you were in charge of us. What does that have to do with any of us?" "I did so to repent for my sins. But I knew I could not do so as long as I was part of the wooden cross. With that, I stole the one thing that I know would exile me from them. I saw back my face," said Kai. He started placing the tip of his fingers at the bottom of his chin. Applying pressure with his fingernails, it did not take too long for them to go inside of his chin. Slowly from the bottom, he pulled up to the top of his temple. Underneath, it was nothing but an empty void where his face used to be. Curved inwards, the flesh on the sides of his face were apparent. Other than that, he did not have anything else. Behind what looked like a mask, he was empty, dark, and hollow. And that is the end of chapter 16. And chapter 17, which will be continued next week, is going to be the past, the burning of Pinecrest, which is going to be some exposition. No, it's not exposition, but it's going to be a little bit more of touching upon who is Fiona, who is Aiden, who really is he, what is Kai, what did Kai do, who is the wooden cross. So we're going there to the past to experience what has happened, what's been going on, and what led to whatever. So there we are. That is the end of basically the story. For now, obviously. Continue on Friday. What a voice, beautiful, charming. Oh, thank you. You're being too kind. Thank you. What an inspiration, faceless, fit for whatever mask Sinner whose hand never stops, the mistress and trauma. Yeah, indeed. Oh, quite a lot going on, I guess. I hope the backstory starts to get a little bit better. Burning Elmo theme. Oh, it will be such a thing. But that is how far we've gotten. I will say though, if I remember this book as clear as I remember it to be, there is going to be more, I suppose, of exposition driving around. I don't know where the story is going anymore. I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very, very frank. It's one of those things. But regardless, that has been our story time, and also our poetry time, and our fan submissioned poems. Thank you everyone for attending today's poetry stream, and I hope that it relaxed you. I hope that it calmed you down or allowed you to take a breather from your exams, homework, or whatever things that is, being too busy in your day-to-day life. Before I have to go, some closing words, which is to all of you who is watching, and even to those who are going to be watching this as an archive, as a VOD, or perhaps, we just need to hear it again, which is the following. Thank you, everyone, for working very, very hard every single day, both on your homework, both at school, both at your daily life at home, be it with your family or just with yourself. Thank you very much for trying very hard and always trying with the same passion, perseverance, and consistency. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure of mine to meet all of you, such hardworking, admirable individuals. It really, really puts a smile on my face when all of you are achieving the dreams that you like. So thank you. I'm very proud of all of you on behalf of your parents and your friends. Thank you very much for trying every single day. I'm proud of all of you. Today's the weekends. Remember to take a breather. Please take a breather. It's the weekends. You need to relax. You need to eat food. You need to drink water. Please sleep well as well. I worry about all of you. But that is the end of today's poetry stream. So a couple of words, or lasting, more like scheduled things. On Saturday, I think it's Saturday, I will be having a Dead by Daylight stream, a really, really big collaboration with Luminti, also known as Zena I, with Vile Yuzu, which you all have seen in the Apex stream. Also with Forte, the Capo, the Uru Mafia, Cereza, Queen Cereza, I don't remember anything, but Cereza, and that's going to be us. We'll be playing Dead by Daylight, we'll be custom games, and hopefully we can put a laugh on everyone, and it's going to be fun, I hope, hopefully. But yeah, also expect some Guerrilla streams very, very soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, I am not sure, because I have been itching to play Persona 5 Royal again. But regardless, everyone, thank you for watching, thank you for coming here, thank you for allowing me to be your entertainer and your host and streamer. My name has been Fumiyo-kun. おはようございます。こんばんは。おやすみ。じゃあね。またね。I love you. Bye. Bye 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 bye.